What comes to your mind when you hear the word vampire? Maybe a creature in human form, drinking blood, afraid of sunlight and sleeping in coffins. We've all seen these images in movies since childhood. But is it just fiction? Or is there some truth to it? Before we dive into today's story, let me make a small request. We work really hard to bring you animated horror stories. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do. It's free, and it really helps us keep going. Now let's begin. This story takes place in Florida in 1995. One day, a group of teenagers rushed into the police station to file a missing person report. Their friend, Emily, had suddenly disappeared. She was supposed to meet them the previous evening, but she never showed up. Her phone had been switched off since then, and no one knew where she had gone. The police hesitated at first, but then something strange happened. At the station, they kept receiving mysterious calls, sounds of crying and screaming, but no voice responding to their questions. When they traced the calls, they led far away from the city. Two officers, Mark and Daniel, followed the trail. Driving late into the night, they spotted a body lying on the roadside. Rushing to help, they realized it was none other than Emily, the missing girl. Her body was weak, her skin pale with a bluish tint, and blood was dripping from her left arm. They quickly rushed her to the hospital. Doctors were horrified. They revealed that Emily had been drained of blood for nearly 2 days straight. She was alive, but barely. Even more disturbing were the burn marks on her hands and strange symbols carved onto her back in an unknown language. Mark began to suspect that Emily had been kidnapped by some dangerous cult. He and Daniel decided to investigate further. That night, Mark drove to the remote forest area where Emily had been found. But the deeper he went, the stranger it became. Every path he took seemed to loop back to the same spot where he started. Suddenly, he saw grotesque figures covered in blood, moving toward his car. Terrified, he grabbed his gun. But when he looked again, they were gone. Before he could escape, an overwhelming drowsiness overtook him, as if someone had cast a spell. When he regained consciousness, he was tied to a table. A tube was attached to his arm, draining his blood into a bottle. Across from him sat a young man and woman. They looked normal, laughing and talking casually while eating food. But beside their plates was a bottle filled with blood, and they were drinking it as if it were wine. Mark's heart froze. These were no ordinary people. They were vampires. Around the room, he noticed strange occult objects, animal bones, and black magic symbols. He realized the cult was performing rituals to gain power through human blood. That night, drained and weak, Mark somehow managed to free himself. He stumbled out of the house and found a broken telephone booth. Using it, he called Daniel for help. But on Daniel's end, the only thing he could hear was crying and screams. Mark's voice was completely distorted. Even so, he traced the call and rushed to the spot. There, he found Mark lying unconscious in the same place where Emily had earlier been discovered. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Mark died from blood loss. A few days later, Emily also passed away. Police later uncovered a hidden house deep in the forest, filled with occult items and signs of ritual sacrifices. It turned out to be the hideout of a secret vampire cult, feeding on human blood to sustain themselves. Since then, no such incidents have been officially reported in Florida, but vampire stories and sightings continue to surface from around the world. This chilling tale is said to be based on true events. But do you believe in vampires?